Hi friends, coming to you from my house. Wasn't expected, but I've been asked by a few of you to post something, so I'm glad to do that. I know in my own life I find it very reassuring when I see some familiarity and some routine that I've had before in the past. So this is my gift to you, hopefully. We are all in a time with a lot of increased energy, and I hope that through our mindful yoga practice today, we can use the tools that we already know and to help come back to our mindfulness, and instead of living in a place of increased anxiety and fear, we can return back to this moment, to our seat right now, exactly where we are. We all need to practice that, including myself. So this is a gift to all of us as well. So first thing is thinking about this extra, what you might call anxiety. I would like to reframe it as energy. I've had quite a bit. Many of you know that I'm still working. I work with elders, so our work continues. And so at the end of the day, I have a lot of energy. So just reminding you to find ways to dissipate that energy, to think about it as energy as opposed to anxiety and stress. It's just another physical formation of that. So, you know, if you can jog, if you like to walk, if you like to dance, if you like to clean your house, whatever, get that energy moving. That's going to be really helpful. And the next thing I want to share is just thinking about how we've talked about fear, and that fear is something that is based on a concern in the future. So if we can remember that we don't want to get caught in fear, and that when we see ourselves thinking about what if that happens, that we can try to return back to this place where right now, yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on in the world, but right now we're sitting, you're watching me, I'm talking, everything is fairly okay. And so just remembering that we have tools to bring us back to this moment when we find ourselves circling off into thought about concern and worry in the future, and that if something does arise and there is a critical time, that when you have that ability to recenter, you'll be able to respond more skillfully. You'll be able to take the time to say, okay, here's what I know, let me proceed with the next steps in a method that's not reacting with stress, but just responding in a skillful way. So the more we can practice being calm and recentering, the better it is for yourself and for everyone around us. So a couple tools just to remind you of. The first is that our breath, right? I constantly keep coming back to your breath. You can reset your nervous system with just 5 or 6 slow breaths. So that's what we'll start with today. So if you're not already, find yourself in a comfortable seated posture. You might want to sit on a pillow or some blankets. If it doesn't work to sit cross-legged, sit however you want. You can sit with legs wide open. You can sit on a chair, whatever works for you. And let's just take a deep breath in through the nose and just let it out through the mouth. Let out a sigh or two. Just see if you're holding any. And then as you see my arms, we're going to take a breath in, and my arms are going to just tell you we're breathing in. So we're going to breathe for maybe a count of 4 or so. So a little bit longer, slower breath than normal. So we'll take a breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just notice for yourself if you're able to take those longer, slower breaths, whatever variation of count works for you, just to begin to slow it down. If you find yourself really engaged, maybe extend the exhale an extra count or 2 longer than the inhale. Just a tool to help us remember Other things that we know about to come back to this second, to this where we are in this moment, is also to come back to your senses, to awaken your senses. So you might notice what's happening around you. If you find your mind spiraling off and we're thinking, think, okay, what do I feel right now? Where am I sitting? We can think about where are sit bones, what do those feel like? Maybe you're sitting on a cushion, maybe you're on a chair. Notice the palms if they're resting on your legs. You might notice the sounds around you. I hear a little bird outside. You might notice the colors around you. So just using your senses to come back, because if you're right here in this moment observing, your mind can't be in the future. And then finally, the third tip is just to remember gratitude. So this practice of being grateful in the moment can really help shape you if you're in a place of unease or even anxiety, concern. So just take a moment, if you feel it, come and think, okay, what are 3 things that I am grateful for in this moment? 1, I'm grateful right now, I'm healthy. 2, my family's healthy. 3, I have a beautiful house and I have food to eat and I am got my basic needs taken care of, right? There's so much to be grateful for in this moment. So just shifting from that place of maybe fear, insecurity, to a place of more stability and security through the practice of gratefulness. You might want to practice this if you have people eating with you. You may practice it before you eat, or you can call a friend and just have a steady practice of like, we're going to share 5 things new today that I appreciated about my day that I hadn't been mindful of before. Just try to make this part of your daily practice. I think it's really helpful. So let's get started with some movement. That's just the mindful approach. And now we'll bring the mindfulness into yoga and connect our breath with our movement and really help to find our physical sensations, which obviously are only here. I don't have a chime, so guess what I have? The next best thing, a wine glass. So I'm gonna ring this. Oh, that didn't sound very good. Let's try again. How about that? That's gonna be our call together. And let's take a big breath up. Just scoop up towards the sky. Take a big breath in and exhale. Try again, scoop up. Don't worry about how long it takes you to breathe up or how long it takes you to exhale. Just take your time. So then just beginning a little movement from side to side. We'll let one hand come to the earth. We'll lift the right hand up and over, stretching. And then we'll come up and we'll try side 2. And allow yourself to come back and forth just with your breath. And let the hand that's resting on the earth receive you. It might press you back up towards the sky. And then both arms come up. We'll interlace the fingers, send the palms forward, and we'll round into the upper back. So we're going to drop the chin towards our chest, round into the upper back. You might roll behind your sit bones and just try to stretch that area between the shoulder blades. Now you can hear my cardinal friend. Hello. And we'll take a breath up. And then release. So if you've been sitting for a minute and you want to switch the way your legs are, feel free. We're going to take our left ear and drop it over towards the left shoulder. Release the jaw, any tension in the face. And take a moment here to stretch that arm out. And let the right arm come, and the back of the right hand is going to rest on your lower back. We're going to drop the shoulder and relax here, stretching to the side of the neck. With an exhale, the chin will come towards the chest, straight down. And then we'll take the head back over the direction it was, over towards the left. And we'll lift the head up, release, take a breath up. And exhale. And we'll try the other side. So this time, right ear towards the right shoulder, drop the left shoulder down. We're going to bring the back of that hand to rest. Left hand rests on the lower back. Drop the shoulder. Relax the jaw, any tension in the face. Notice the forehead, the eyes. And then let the chin roll towards the chest. both hands. One more time, scoop to the sky. And release. So now we'll come on to hands and knees. It's called tabletop pose. We all know it from class. From here, we're going to bring the hands underneath our shoulders. We want the hips to be right above the knees, and we'll move back and forth, just coming into cow-cat posture, awakening the spine. So with an inhale, we'll send the belly towards the earth. We'll press into the earth. We'll look up just gently without straining, feeling this whole front side of the body opening up. And on the exhale, we start from the tail. We tuck the tail, we round, we press into the earth, we drop the head fully. And then we move back and forth, just with your own breath. This is where you get to connect with your senses, which are going to keep you grounded in this moment, so your mind won't wander off. See, what are you feeling in the back body? What are you feeling in the sides of the body? What are you feeling in the front of the body? Take 2 more rounds, just explore. Feel free to let your body shift as well, a little forward and back if you feel like that helps find some more opening. And we'll come back to center. From here, in the next breath we take, we're going to bring our left knee in. We're going to hug it in. Hug it, hug it, hug it. I'm going to turn so I'm facing you again. And then we're going to send that leg out. So the leg is going to come straight back. The leg's going to stay parallel to the floor. And we're going to take a breath there. So let me return so you can see the posture of my back, the legs straight. We're bringing the belly in and up. We're trying not to lift this hip, so we're trying to keep it level. Trying to find that. We're pressing out through the heel, and then we're reaching the fingertips forward. Fingertips could either stay on the earth, or I have a chair here also to show if you want support. You can have your hand on a chair or just floating. So we'll take a breath here. Exhale, elbow and knee come towards each other. Hover here for a breath. And then we'll send it out. And again, we'll bring it in. And we'll send it out. And then hand returns, toes come down to the floor. We're going to rotate on our knee that's on the ground, opening up, and now we're stretching up towards the sky. We're on our hand, which is underneath our shoulder, our knee, and then the outside edge of that foot's pressing. Take a breath here, open up the side body. Hand can stay stretching towards the sky, or we can reach away from that extended leg. Either one's great. We'll take a breath or two. And then we'll scoot back. We're going to return into tabletop. Take a breath there. Take an easy cow-cat. And then we'll try side 2. So whatever knee wasn't up for me, we're going to pull that knee forward. We're going to hug it in. Try to bring your forehead towards the knee. And then we're going to send that leg long. So now we're just making sure that this hip, again, isn't lifted too high, that the hips stay level. We're going to engage the belly in and up towards the spine. Press out through the heel. We can walk the fingertips forward. Maybe the hand lifts. Elbow and knee can come towards each other. We're going to hover here, just finding our core. And we'll stretch out. And then we're going to come back in. Maybe be curious about what's happening here at the back of the foot. Maybe you can press on the floor and we'll stretch back out. And then I'll show you the back view. We're going to rotate again on that knee. We're going to open up. Hand can either come towards the sky, or you can stretch away from that extended leg. Take a couple breaths. And then we'll return, coming back into tabletop. You got it. And then take a breath. You can either sit back on your heels for a moment, or if it doesn't work to sit on your heels, you can lift up for a breath. And just notice, hopefully, a little bit more opening here in the side body. The more we can stretch through not only the waist but the ribs, we're going to be able to get those fuller breaths. So when we feel tense and unease, we tend to tighten around the rib cage and we can't get that deep breath. So the more we can begin to open up that area, the more we can breathe a little bit more freely and let our nervous system calm down a little bit more. So from here, we're going to come into thread the needle. I'm going to show you facing forward. I think it's most helpful. So we're going to come back into tabletop. We're going to lift the right arm towards the sky. And we'll take a big breath here, opening up. From here, we're going to come through. You can either rest on your forearm, and this left hand is going to stay on the earth as you open up to the left, trying to keep your hips level. Some of you have practiced for a while. You might come all the way down onto your shoulder, your upper back. If that's the case, again, we try to keep the hips level. We're going to notice what's happening with our feet and see if we can press the tops of the feet into the floor. And from here, you have options. You can stay here, exploring the breath. You can send your hand up. You might reach it around your back for this thigh. You can walk the fingertips in front of the body. Just pick one and commit to a few breaths. And then to come out, this hand's going to press back into the earth as we unthread. Come back to neutral, or you can counter twist and lift that arm back up again, and we'll take side two. This time the left arm's going to lift up. Take a breath, stretch that wing up, and we'll come on through. First, either to the forearm. Again, this is a great place to stay. If you're not sure how far your body wants to go, you can stay right here. This is a great place. What we're interested in is a twist in the upper spine, just a gentle twisting. So we may stay here today. For others, you can come down. If you're staying up and your head is way far from the floor, feel free to bring a pillow for you to rest on as well. We're going to come on down if you can. We're going to pull this right hip back, and we'll take a few breaths. Find where you want your hand to rest, and we'll breathe into the opening. And then to come out, we're going to press the hand back into the earth as we unthread. Open up if you want. And then coming back into tabletop. From here, we're going to get ready to come into downward dog. So you can stay where you are. Take your hands a little bit in front of your shoulders. We'll go through a cow stretch, opening the front of the body. A cat stretch, stretching the back of the body. From here, we'll tuck the toes and we'll lift the sit bones up. Yep. And if this is your first downward dog for the day, feel free to walk the legs in place. It might be that the backs of the legs need a little encouragement to open up. If you've been doing some extra walking or jogging to dissipate that energy, your hamstrings might be a little tighter than normal, so let's be sweet. If you're practicing with me and you're not a regular student and you say, that's crazy, Amy, I'm not going upside down, you can do this also on a chair or with your hands around a table. So I'll show you my hands can be on a chair, and then bringing my hips back. And the purpose of downward dog is to elongate the spine, right? So what we're interested in is pressing wherever we are and lengthening the spine. So you can do this on a chair, you can do it against the wall, you can do it with your hands on the floor in traditional downward dog. So just pick a pose here and focus on lengthening the spine. With the next breath, we're going to shift into plank. So if you're on the floor, it's going to look like bringing yourself into a push-up posture. We're going to lift from the belly. So the belly's coming up, there's a buoyancy in the belly. We're going to engage the arms without locking the elbows and engage the legs and just use the weight of our body here to keep our bones strong. Take a couple calm breaths. And then we'll try to lower all the way down. If you need to come to your knees, that's fine. We're going to lower halfway and then take a breath, hug your elbows in, and then lower all the way to the ground. From here, arms come alongside the body. I hope you can see me. I'm going to lift my head and the chest. Coming into a baby cobra. I'm going to lift my feet a couple of inches and just take a few breaths here. Top of the head and the feet are stretching away from each other. Even if you can't see them on the video, that's what's happening here. And release, we'll come down. Hands come in line with the shoulders. Pull them closer towards the rib cage. Tuck your toes if you can. Press up through plank. And then exhale, shift the hips back, downward dog. We'll take a breath, lengthen out the spine again. From here, let's walk the hands and the feet together. We're coming to a forward fold. You can hold on to the elbows, drop the head, bend the knees, and make sure you're breathing while you're upside down. And then release. We're going to press into the earth. Let the arms dangle as you roll up. Strong belly supports your back. And almost like we're one of these beautiful spring flowers that is coming up from the earth. We're going to slowly unfurl. Some of you might have seen those beautiful fern openings coming from the earth. Or little buds of flowers coming up. That's us. I hope you can see me. And we'll take a breath up. Not sure how the camera is. We're going to reach up and then exhale. So now we're coming into mountain pose. This is a real basic pose, but it's one where we are strengthening our legs. We're feeling our connection with the earth. The more we can get ourselves into the legs and feel the strength of our legs and the connection down, the more grounded we're going to be and not be so in our head, right? So we're going to use our physical body to help ground us. So let's think about the thighs engaging without locking the legs. We're going to imagine that we have weights coming not only from the soles of the feet, so feel that, the weightiness of it, and also maybe from the tailbone, just gently feeling like we're grounded, like it is an anchor. So our boat is going to be floating around, right? There's some waves coming, woo! But we can remain anchored. Yes, we can. So take a breath, maybe let your palms open to the sides if that feels all right. We want to stay open and receptive because we're part of this community, right? We're going to be supporting each other, so we want to be anchored and open. And we'll take a breath in, again, just reaching up. This time we're going to let the hands press. We're going to point our fingers up towards the sky, and then we're going to reach back as if we're pointing between our shoulder blades. So we're just bringing the hands down, we're lifting the elbows up as much as we can, and we're taking a few breaths here. Make sure that the head isn't coming forward. We're just going to bring it up into neutral. And then release. We'll send the hands back up, let the fingertips float down, and we'll move into some circle shoulders, shoulder circles would be the most appropriate way to say it. So we're going to bring the shoulders towards each other, and then up towards the sky, and then behind us and down. Again, shoulders up, around, and back. More. Shoulders up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and slide them down the back. Awesome. All right, from here we're going to move into just a few standing poses. This is going to be a quick practice, just to refresh. We're going to move into triangle. So the right foot, well, let's see, I'm going to mirror. So the left foot's going to turn out, and we're going to bring ourselves extending out over this left leg. The kneecap's going to be shining up as much as you can. We're pressing into all four corners of the foot. We're going to reach out over this left leg. We're going to keep a nice long left waist here as we come down. If you start to collapse your waist, that tells you you've gone too far. So if you can keep that extension in the waist, try that, and then the hand can rest wherever it does. There's our cardinal. Again, that can be our calling back to this moment. Hello, cardinal friend. And we'll take a few breaths, opening up. So feel the foundation of the legs here. This should be a grounding pose. The legs are grounding us. We're opening up through the arms, sides of the body. If you want a little more strength, just let this hand hover. If you want to find the side body muscle, then we'll lift up. Move into your Vajrasana 2, Warrior 2. We'll scooch the foot out. Hips are now fully facing the long side of the mat as we come down. Hope you can see me. We're going to bend this left knee, keeping the kneecap right over the ankle, and we're going to extend the arms out. Find your breath, return. Nice time to practice some longer inhales and exhales, feeling your legs really connecting with the earth. The strength of the legs helping us feel stable, grounded. Maybe a little bit lower into this knee, bending. And then we'll come up, so we're gonna straighten the legs, we're gonna turn the left toes in, we're gonna be in a star posture. So our feet are turned parallel, arms extend out. Just take a breath here. Remember that anchor on our tailbone and the feet grounding us. Relax the shoulders. We'll try side two. So the right foot turns out. We're coming into triangle, to Trikonasana. We're going to extend out, keeping this right waist really long as we come over this right leg. Pressing into all four corners of the feet. So notice if you're rolling one side. And then we'll come over. Opening up. Yeah, beautiful. That should feel nice, like an extension in all directions. Legs fully grounded, centering us. Find that breath. We check in that the shoulders haven't snuck up towards our ears. And then we'll rise up. Moving towards warrior two. So the hips will open a little bit more. We're going to bend into this front knee. You may have to scooch that back foot some. We don't want the knee going past the ankle. Once we get the posture of the legs, we can send the arms out, relax the shoulders, and find that flow of the breath. Maybe we'll take a couple deeper breaths coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. One more. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. Bend a little bit more. We'll come out. Turn the right toes in. We're going to be in that star posture again. Feet turned in. Take a breath out. All right, from here, we're going to walk our feet in about 2 feet. And let our feet turn out whatever angle is right for you. Doink. So I'm going to bring my arms up. Again, I often mention I was a dancer, right? So my feet might turn out more than yours. So don't turn your feet out more than your hips can manage. So we're going to send the arms up. And we're going to come into eagle arms. So it looks like this. I'm going to show you the arms first. The left arm is going to cross over the right. First version is we're just going to hold on one shoulder and one underneath the shoulder blade. So if you have really strong shoulders or tight shoulders or big muscles, this might be where you stay. For others, you might bring the backs of the hands together. This lower hand might come towards your face and then palms press. Doesn't matter. Any of these versions are great. So we're going to hold on. We're going to send the elbows up just a little wherever we are. Relax the shoulders down. And then we're going to bend into the knees. Trying to keep the arms where they are. We're just going to sink the hips down towards the earth. Keep our tailbone underneath us. Again, find that foundation, that centering, the strength of the legs to help ground us here. Yeah, keep lifting up. And then we'll take another breath. We'll rise up, unwind. Stay where you are. We've got one more side. This time, the right hand's going to cross over. Aren't y'all impressed? I usually have trouble with that. We're going to give ourselves a hug. You can stay here if this is the right place for you to do as we come. If you're thinking that this side may be a little different, so explore. Maybe the backs of the hands can come together on this side. Maybe this lower hand will come towards your face and the palms will press. Maybe not. Doesn't matter. Once you have the arm posture, we're going to relax into the legs, coming down. And then we'll start charging up the legs, thighs working, elbows lifting. And we'll rise up. Awesome. Release the arms. And then we'll have the hands come to the waist. You'll toe your feet in, breakfast style, breakfast club style. Yeah, here we come. Awesome. So from here, we're going to come into a few versions of chair. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see exactly what's happening. You can just stay where you are. From here, we're going to bend the knees and the weight's going to shift back towards our heels. So it might feel like our bottom's going back some. And in doing that, we need to really engage our belly. So we're going to zip up the belly from the pubic bone up to our navel. We're trying to engage the lower belly. And then still think a little bit of weight on that tailbone. We're not tucking it, but it's not sticking out too much. So from here, arms can either come forward, shoulder height, or they can come up around your ears. We're going to take a little bit of a flow just to really engage the legs here. Feel the strength, help us ground. With an inhale, we'll come up just a little. And exhale, we sit down in the chair. There it is. And inhale, come up. Exhale, we'll come down. Inhale, we'll come up. Exhale, sit on down in the chair. And take an extra breath or two. Again, hands can be here, that's fine. Let the legs engage, press down, open up, just joyfully, whatever this looks like with you. Stretch up, and release. Oops, I hit the light. We're gonna try one more, this time coming with a little bit of a twist into our chair. So I'll come back facing you forward again. So feet are gonna be hip distance. We're gonna come back in the same posture we were. From here, the choice is now, we're gonna twist over towards the right. We're gonna bring this left arm over and we're gonna press it to the outside of the leg. And from here, we're gonna find lots of space as we look over our right shoulder. We're gonna hug this right hip to the back. And we're gonna take a couple breaths here. This is a great place to stay. Others of you, if you've practiced with me and you come into prayer twist, you can float that elbow down, pressing down. You can then open up the chest, thinking about making sure both hips are going back. So either of those is great. And to come out, we'll release the hands and just float on up. And before we take to side two, just take a mindful breath. Just let go of anything that's still holding on. All right, side two. We're gonna come on down into chair again. This time we're coming to the left. Either the hand can press on the outside of the knee, or you can zoom down and press the elbow and then the palms. I think I'm gonna take this version today. And we'll take a few breaths. See if you can find the connection of the feet on the mat. You feel the connection of the heart opening here as we twist open to the left. And we release. We're gonna come out, just stretch up again joyfully, whatever that looks like. All right, so if you're feeling sensation in the legs, see if you can be curious about it. Not needing to shake the legs, not needing to get away from the sensation. Just notice it's a different sensation. We're dealing with a lot of different things in our life right now that we never anticipated. So just build that skill, that muscle of staying with curiosity to new sensations. They will pass. They always do, right? So from here, we'll move right into tree. So we'll start with lifting the right leg. Anywhere from the inner edge of the leg, you can even have your toes on the floor. That's a real nice supportive place if you're not sure about lifting the leg and your balance. You can come to the inner leg, you can come up to the inner upper thigh, just don't have it right over your kneecap, that's too much. So for me, I'm gonna lift it up today, and I'm pressing back with it. And then I'm pressing into the earth with my standing leg, and I'm lifting up. So I have lots of different kind of energy to play with here. And then I might bring my palms together. And remember that we welcome the sways. That is life. We have a lot of winds blowing in our life, right? So just breathe through it. If you fall, no big deal. We just practice getting right back up. So from here, if you'd like to open your arms, however you're used to, out to the side or overhead, feel free. And then we're not going to come out. We're going to bring the knee forward, the one that's lifted. So the knee's going to come forward. And as we send the weight down into our standing leg, this leg's going to go out. So it's going to go. And we're going to lift up energy. So if you're leaning back, come forward. Hello. Yeah. Take a breath here. Relax the shoulders and release. Yep. So if you have sensation in that standing leg, it's okay. It will pass. Let's go ahead and lift it. You don't need to get away from it. It's just getting used to differences, right? So that leg might feel different than it's used to because we were just standing on it for a long time. So find your posture here. We might have energy with the leg that's standing and the foot. They may be pressing together. We may be pressing into the earth and lifting up those two energies. I'll take my arms up. If it's easy, you can close your eyes just for fun. Or if you just want to fall and practice falling, it's a safe place. And then we'll let this knee come forward. And then we'll stretch it out. So we're going to press energy down, the leg's going to come out, and then we're going to lift up at the same time. So we have energy going down and up. And if we're leaning back, come forward right over your pelvis, right over your leg. You got it. Take a couple breaths. Did I mention that we're working our legs today? And release. So we want to feel really grounded. The more we can do these standing poses, the more we'll feel centered and connected. So with that, we're going to take one more breath up. And exhale, just fold forward, whatever that looks like in your body. If your hamstrings are tight or your lower back tells you to do something different, you can bend your legs or not come over as far. We're going to take a few breaths folded. And then from here, we're going to come down to the ground. So you can just bend, come on down. We're only going to take a couple postures down here before ending. We're going to start with Janusirsasana. So we're going to send the left leg out, and the right inner sole is going to come up here to the thigh. I'm going to take a breath up. This is going to help release our lower back. We're going to twist so we're facing our extended leg as we come forward. And just as far as we can go without rounding our back is how far we go. And we'll take a few breaths. We try to keep this right thigh relaxing to the earth, and we invite our belly button to try to come over to this thigh of the extended leg as much as we can. And then we just rest here with a few breaths. Anytime we practice folding, it is a calming sensation for the body. So at night you might want to practice some seated forward folds. With the next breath, we'll come up. We're going to try side two. Right leg extends. Left sole of the foot comes to this inner leg. We try to keep this thigh relaxing down. If this is sensitive in any way towards your knee, doesn't want to bend that much, or your thigh, you can bring a pillow or something and prop it up. We're going to lift up. We're going to twist towards our extended leg as we come down. Yep, beautiful. Breaths. Say hello to this right lower back and hip area as we open it up gently. And we'll take a breath in, coming up, and we're going to come onto our backs. So before we do that, just make sure that you're here with me, that your mind hasn't floated off. Take a full breath. Now we'll come onto our backs. We're gonna have our knees bent. We're gonna take bridge posture, which is a passive back bend. We want the feet underneath the knees. You can see some of my cat here. From here, hands are on the floor, arms are extended alongside the body. We're gonna press into the feet, lift the hips up, not by using the bottom. We're not engaging the bottom to lift, we're using our thighs. So we're pressing into the thighs, engaging them to lift up. We're thinking about our tailbone moving that direction. So we're lengthening out the lower back. From here, you can keep your arms stretching where they are, or you can interlace your fingers and come onto the outer upper arms and maybe lift up a little more. I'm cautious here not to tuck the chin, so we're not going to bring our chin towards our chest, and we're not lifting it up towards the sky. It's just staying in a neutral posture, and do not turn your head here. So if you're trying to look at the camera with your head turned, don't do it. turn so that you can either see it first and then practice it. All right, awesome. So from here, release the hands. We're going to lift the heels up, slowly roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. See if you can find some space for that lower back to roll out. All the way, yes. And then we'll walk the feet to the outside edges of the mat, knees bent, and easy windshield wiper. So knees release in the same direction, and then slowly the other direction. One more. And then the knees will come in towards our chest. We'll give them a hug. You might let yourself roll from side to side, thinking about elongating the lower back, kind of broadening, widening it. From here, legs go up towards the sky. Just an easy point and flex. We did a lot of standing posture, so we're going to give a few seconds here to let that blood flow come back in the reverse. So depending how straight you can keep your legs, your hamstrings will tell you if they need to be bent, that's fine. We're going to lift up the head and the chest, and we're going to reach past the legs up towards the sky, and the belly's going to come down towards the earth. So we're just engaging our core a little bit more here. We might let one leg lower a little bit more, and then come back up, and we'll try the other side. And then we'll keep the legs out. We're going to release the head back for a moment. Just take a breath. And again, point flex, circle through the feet. And then we're going to come back up towards one side. So both arms are going to come over here towards the left side of the legs. We're going to stretch up. Just finding our core a little bit more. And then we're going to come back to center and stretch the other direction. And then come back, both arms reaching up. Belly towards the earth. And release back. So hug the knees in again. Soles of the feet together. We'll come into a lying, a Supta Baddha Konasana variation. So the soles of the feet are going to come together. The knees are going to open up. So we're going to try to hold on either to the shins, if you can hold on to the shins. If you can reach up past the feet, interlace the fingers and hold on, then your knees can move away from your body. You press the feet into the hands, whoop, and that lifts you. Then you can just relax. I'm doing nothing with my arms. All the effort here is in my legs. I'm just holding on, and my legs are lifting me up. So we're going to take a few breaths. And to come out, we'll release. Let your feet come back down to the floor. Let your arms spread out in a T posture. So your arms are extended out so that they're perpendicular to the body. We're just going to take an easy lying twist for our final pose of release. I like to lift the hips up first, so we're going to lift the hips up a little bit over. Maybe I'll turn this way so you can see. We'll lift the hips up a little bit over to the side, and then the knees will come up and release in the opposite direction. Feet can swing out just a little bit. Wherever you are, look up towards the sky. We're gonna lift the shoulder up away from the directions of the knees. Oh, and then try to walk the shoulders in the direction of the knees so that both shoulders can drop to the floor. And this is it. You're gonna take a few breaths here, imagining that this is just a real gentle twist of not only the lower back, but also your digestive organs, just letting ourselves stretch out. And we'll try side two. When you come back to center, let your hips return, don't rush. We want to open to the sensation of being back in neutral. And we'll try side two. Hips will come up, over, knees come up, release over. As the head looks up towards the sky, we're trying to bring the shoulder the direction of the knees so that we can find both shoulders resting on the earth. If you need any props here, grab a pillow again if you need something underneath your shoulders or your knees. Let go of everything here. There's no holding. Did you hear that? That was my belly talking to you. My belly said it was tired of holding. It's hungry. And then we'll come back to center. Let yourself return. Use your belly to bring yourself back. Let your hips return back into neutral. And just take a breath here. See how the body's feeling. And before you stretch out into your final resting pose, why don't you pull your knees in one more time. Give them a squeeze. Pull yourself in. You're going to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze up into a ball. And then when you're ready, release out. Take up some room. Let there be 1.5 feet or so between your legs. Arms can either be extended out so that the palms are facing the ceiling, or if you feel like you want a little bit more grounding in this time of uncertainty, maybe a hand over the heart, a hand over the belly might feel comforting. It's a good time also to think about if you've been practicing in a place that's going to cool down, you might want to pull a blanket or put on some socks or put on a shirt for a moment. I'm going to put my shirt on as you're getting ready. And we'll take a few collective breaths, just breathing in through the nose and letting that breath out through the mouth as you're laying on your back. So as you take a breath in, think about the belly filling, lifting up towards the ceiling as you take a breath in. And on the exhale, the belly releases towards the earth. And then just take a sigh or two. Guess what? You're at your house. No one's listening to you. You can hear me taking a breath in. One more. So, as you're resting, I'm just going to talk you through a real gentle body scan. You can turn it off if you're finished. If you want to listen to the body scan, feel free, or you could just let these words float past you. So we'll start with noticing the forehead, allowing a softening there, allowing the eyes to rest. Nothing to look at, nothing to decipher. The same thought with the brain. It's going to continue to try to make sense of things, to plan, to think. We're going to invite that brain to just rest. And as the thoughts continue, which they will continue, we remember our tools of finding the breath to help release whatever thought is preoccupying us. We come back to the sensation of the breath. We might come back to the sensation of the back of the body lying on the earth. Or we might just see that thought, know that it's going to be one that's bouncing around for a while, and just let it float on by. It can come back later. So we'll notice if there's any tension in the jaw, relaxing that. Checking in to see if we can bring a little bit more ease to the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, the area in front of the throat, softening. Aware of the shoulders resting on the earth, the back of the shoulders resting, maybe that area behind the heart center, you can feel it also nestling towards the earth. And we're inviting the whole back side of the body to really drop into the earth, to feel the support of the ground, so that the front of the body can feel supported, it can open a bit. Time of unease, we tend to constrict, right? That's normal. We're trying to tighten, protect ourselves, but you're safe here. We can relax, let the body spread out a bit. So moving down, just noticing if there's any tension in any part of the back that's been helping us with these standing postures. We're going to take a breath in. On the exhale, softening that part of the back that might still be holding. Let the belly fully release. We notice the length of the arms and the heaviness of the warmth of the arms. Noticing whether the palms are turned up or they're resting comfortably on our body. And we notice the length of the legs, the weight, the warmth of the legs, all the way down into the ankles, tops of the feet, soles of the feet, all relaxing. And then taking a few breaths, noticing if there's anything else that you can invite to let go just a little bit more. No expectation that it's going to totally let go. Our bodies are under a lot of new sensation these days, but just inviting it to soften a bit. You can continue to rest here as long as you like. When you come up, move slowly, bringing our practice off the mat to remember what we discussed as our mindful tips or tools to help us stay grounded. That's that slower, longer breath, maybe just 5 rounds of those throughout the day to help us reset. We can awaken the senses, notice the sounds around us. It's springtime, just step outside. We're so blessed, most of us, to be able to get outside and to hear the sounds around us to help us recenter. And finally, to be grateful. So thinking of things that we're grateful for can shift any tendency of concern and anxiety, turn it to one of gratefulness for a bit. And I am grateful for you all. We'll end. Even if you're still in corpse pose or resting pose, let's just take a moment to send loving kindness to all. May I and all beings be well. May I and all beings be free from suffering. May I and all beings be at peace and be safe. That is our wish for each other, for all beings everywhere. With joy. Namaste. Take good care of yourself. Please practice resting deeply every day.